You are sleeping with the enemy. You are hiring the traitor. You are confiding in the spy, and you don't even know it. Most people believe that time reveals character. They think if you've known someone for 10 years, you know their soul. That is a lie. Time does not reveal character. Time allows people to perfect their mask. A psychopath can hold a pose for a lifetime as long as the lighting is right. Niccolò Machiavelli, the man who saw the human animal without its disguise, knew the truth. He understood that character is not revealed in the long, peaceful days of comfort. Character is revealed in the blink of an eye, in the fracture, in those thin slices of behavior that emerge when the mask slips for just a fraction of a second. You have been staring at the painting. I am going to teach you how to look at the cracks in the canvas. There are 3 specific moments, 3 psychological tripwires, that instantly force a human being to show you exactly who they are. Most people miss these moments because they are too busy listening to words. But if you watch closely, if you know where to look, you will see the monster before it bites you. And once you see it, you can never unsee it. We live in a theater. Every morning you wake up, put on your costume, rehearse your lines, and walk out into the world. Your boss does it. Your partner does it. Your best friend does it. We are all performing the version of ourselves that we want the world to believe. This is not necessarily evil. It is social survival. If everyone told the truth about what they were truly thinking, society would collapse by noon. But there are some actors who are not performing for survival. They are performing for predation. They are the narcissists, the Machiavellians, the covert manipulators who see you not as a person, but as a battery, a source of fuel. They are charming. They are often the most charismatic people in the room. They mirror your values, laugh at your jokes, and make you feel seen. But it is all a simulation. Machiavelli wrote in The Prince, "Everyone sees what you appear to be. Few experience what you really are." Why? Because the predator controls the interaction. They control the lighting. To see the truth, you must change the lighting. You must introduce a variable they did not rehearse for. You must apply pressure, not big pressure, not a crisis. A crisis is too obvious. In a crisis, even a coward can act brave for a moment. No, you need the thin slice. Psychologist Nalini Ambadi at Harvard conducted research on thin slices of behavior. She found that humans can accurately judge a person's character within less than 5 minutes of observation, often more accurately than after months of acquaintance. Why? Because intuition catches the micro-leakage that the logical mind misses. Today we are going to sharpen that intuition into a weapon. We are going to explore 3 specific thin slice scenarios. These are not generic. Trust your gut advice. These are stress tests. Apply them and the mask will fall, leaving you with the cold, hard reality of who is truly standing in front of you. Be warned, you might not like what you see. You might realize that the person sleeping next to you has been a stranger for years. Are you ready to look? The first revelation, the micro-denial, the boundary test. Let's begin with the most subtle, yet most violent indicator. How does a person react when you say no to something that doesn't even matter? I call this the micro-denial. Here is the psychology. A manipulator, a narcissist, or someone with a dark triad personality profile views other people as extensions of themselves. They do not see you as a separate individual with your own autonomy. They see you as a limb, an arm, or a leg. When you move your arm, it moves. You don't ask it, you command it. So when they ask you for a small favor, can you grab me a coffee? Can we change the restaurant? Can I borrow your charger? They are not asking, they are commanding their limb to move. So what happens when the limb refuses? What happens when you say, no, I can't do that right now? For a healthy person, a small no is nothing. It is just information. Okay, no problem. They move on. Their ego remains intact. But for someone with a corrupted character, a small no is a metaphysical shock. It is a rebellion. It is the arm severing itself from the body. They cannot process it. Watch the face. Machiavelli observed that men are driven by two things, fear and love, but the tyrant is driven by a third, control. When you deliver the micro-denial, you will see the mask slip. It happens fast, maybe half a second. Their smile will freeze, the light will leave their eyes. A flash of cold rage will pass across their face. Paul Ekman, the researcher who mapped human facial expressions, calls this a micro-expression. It is involuntary. The reptilian brain reacts before the social mask can catch up. They may recover quickly. They may say, "Oh, sure, totally fine." But you saw it. You saw the glitch. Why is this the most dangerous sign? Because if they rage at a small no, imagine what they will do when you give them a big one. If they cannot handle you refusing to buy them a drink, how will they handle you refusing to sign a contract? How will they handle you leaving the relationship? They won't. They will destroy you. The micro-denial reveals the entitlement of the soul. It shows you that their kindness is entirely conditional on your obedience. Test this tomorrow. Pick someone you suspect, someone who is always charming, always pleasant, but something feels off. Wait for them to ask a small, trivial favor, then simply say, "No, I can't do that." Don't offer a big excuse. Don't apologize excessively. Just set the boundary and then watch their eyes. Confusion is normal. Disappointment is normal. But if they look insulted, if you sense a sudden drop in the temperature of the room, you are in the presence of a tyrant who is currently pretending to be your friend. Machiavelli would tell you to distance yourself immediately, because a man who cannot respect a small boundary will eventually violate a large one. He is not asking for your help. He is testing your submission, and you just failed his test, which means, in his eyes, you have become an enemy. But the reaction to a no is only the first layer. It reveals their need for control. What about their heart? What about their loyalty? There is a darker test, one that reveals not how they treat you when you defy them, but how they treat you when you succeed. This is where the mask doesn't just slip, it shatters. The second revelation, the silent funeral, the envy audit. Robert Greene, the modern Machiavelli, wrote, "Envy is a weed that should not be watered. But I say, water it just enough to see where the roots are growing." The second thing that instantly reveals character is what I call the silent funeral, how a person reacts to your good news. We are taught that true friends cry with us in pain, and that is true, but empathy for suffering is easy. It costs nothing. In fact, watching you suffer can actually make a toxic person feel better about themselves. It activates their savior complex or their schadenfreude. It is easy to embrace a crying man. It makes you feel strong. But to genuinely celebrate a winning man, to cheer for a friend who has just surpassed you, that requires a nobility of spirit that is incredibly rare. Machiavelli understood that men are inherently competitive in the zero-sum game of the dark psyche. Your win is their loss. Here is the test. The good news, drop. You've just achieved something. A raise, a new relationship, a physical transformation, a hard-earned victory. Share it with them. And do not be humble. Do not self-deprecate. Share it with joy. I finally closed that deal. I'm so happy. Now freeze time. Do not listen to their words. Words are cheap. Listen to what their body says in that first unguarded second. Do their eyes light up, or do they go slightly flat? Do they lean towards you, or subtly pull back? Does their smile reach their eyes, or does it stop at the lips? Watch for what Greene calls the tell of the envious. The split-second pause before the congratulations. That pause is the grief. That pause is them mourning their own inadequacy. The words that follow are performancing. The pause is the truth. And watch what comes next. The toxic person cannot let your win exist without contamination. They will acknowledge it and then immediately diminish it. That's great, but aren't you worried about the competition? Or, wow, how did you manage that? Why were they just short-staffed? And this is not concern. This is sabotage wrapped in a smile. Machiavelli called these people the smiling saboteurs, the most dangerous enemies because they wear the uniform of a friend. The truly loyal person, the rare one, will celebrate your win as if it were their own. They will ask questions, they will want details, their energy will rise with yours. That is real love. That is an alliance. Treasure those people like gold. The third revelation, the impunity factor, the cruelty test. This is the most chilling of the three, because it requires no direct interaction with you at all. Watch how a person treats someone who cannot benefit them and who cannot harm them. The waiter, the janitor, the intern, the stranger asking for directions, the elderly person moving slowly through the door. Watch how they speak to people with no power over them. Watch what they do when the cameras are off and the audience has left. Machiavelli posed a timeless question. If a man could wear the ring of Gyges, the ring that grants invisibility, that removes all consequence, what would he do? Would he act with honor, or would he reveal his true nature? The impunity factor is that ring. Watch what they do when no one important is watching. Here is what you will discover. A person's true character is not how they treat you. Their boss, their client, their romantic interest, the person they need. Their true character is how they treat those they do not need. The cruel man is charming upward and monstrous downward. He is all warmth and wit with the powerful, and contempt and coldness with the powerless. If you are currently above him on the social ladder, you are seeing the performance. One day, when the dynamic shifts, when you are no longer useful, no longer powerful, no longer in the position he needs you to be in, he will show you the face he shows the waiter. Machiavelli warned, men ought either to be well treated or crushed. The dangerous man knows this, and he applies it selectively. He is kind to those he cannot yet destroy. He is cruel to those he already has. But here is what is critical. The cruelty is not random. It is practiced. Every act of casual cruelty toward the powerless is a rehearsal. It is him training his hands for the day he uses them on you. If you are with someone, whether in business or in love, and they treat the waiter like garbage, leave. It does not matter how they treat you today. It matters who they are when the stakes are gone. The integration, the mirror test. Now we arrive at the part that most people skip, the part that separates the truly self-aware from those who merely think they are. If you want to be an outlier, you must do the one thing that 99% of people are too afraid to do. You must turn the magnifying glass on yourself. The uncomfortable truth, the one that might make you close this video right now, is this. You have done these things. Maybe not all of them, maybe not often, but be honest. Have you ever felt a flash of rage when someone told you no? Have you ever felt a pang of bitterness when a friend succeeded where you had failed? Have you ever taken out your stress on someone who couldn't push back? If you say never, you are lying, and a liar is the most dangerous character of all. We all carry the shadow. The difference is that the outlier owns their shadow, while the average person is possessed by it. To truly master the art of reading character, you must audit your own soul with the same ruthlessness you apply to others. This is not about guilt. Guilt is a useless emotion, a waste of energy. This is about calibration. If you want to be surrounded by loyal, high-value people, you cannot be a covert narcissist in disguise. Real recognizes real, and the wolves can smell the rot in you. So let's go deeper into the basement of your own psychology. We are going to exercise your weaknesses, because the only way to be truly safe from the monsters is to recognize the monster in the mirror and put it on a leash. Machiavelli wrote, "A wise prince should rely on what is in his own control, not on what is in the control of others." Your character is the only thing you truly control. So how do you fix the glitches? How do you ensure that you are not the one failing the test? 1. Mastering the no, the sovereign mindset. When someone tells you no, watch your own reaction. If you feel anger, catch it. That anger is your ego screaming, "I am not important." It is a child's tantrum. To become a high-value individual, you must reach a state of internal abundance where a no from the world means nothing. A no is just redirection. A no is protection. When you accept a refusal with complete grace, with a genuine smile, you confuse people. They expect you to push. They expect you to beg. They expect you to get angry. When you respond with, "I completely understand, no worries," and you genuinely mean it, you signal power. You signal that you have options. You signal that you are not desperate. Desperation smells like rot. Detachment smells like power. Practice this. The next time you are rejected by a person, a client, a friend, force your body to relax. Keep your face open. Kill the tyrant in its infancy. Become the king on the throne. The king does not beg. 2. Mastering. Envy, the alchemist. Mindset envy is energy. It is simply energy moving in the wrong direction. When you feel envy, it is because you believe that success is a limited resource, that if they eat, you starve. This is the scarcity mindset. It is the mindset of the peasant. The abundance mindset understands that another person's success is proof that success is possible. If they can do it, the laws of the universe allow it. When you feel that pang of jealousy, transmute it. Turn it into fuel. Do not fake the celebration. Use it. Get close to the winner. Study them. Absorb what they have learned. If you resent them, you push away their knowledge. If you applaud them, you open the door to learn from them. Machiavelli said, "To keep your friends close and your enemies closer, but the outlier makes winners into friends so they can become one of them." Don't be the smiling saboteur. Be the strategic ally. It pays far better. 3. Mastering power, the stoic leader. When you hold power, choose mercy. Not because you are kind, but because you are disciplined. Cruelty is a sign of weakness. It is a sign that you need to hurt others to feel significant. A man who is truly formidable does not need to remind the waiter who is in charge. He knows it. The waiter knows it. The room knows it. When you treat the lowest person in the room with the same respect as the most powerful person, you are not being a saint, you are being a strategist. You are building a reputation for being unshakable, for having a character that is consistent, not conditional. People trust constants. They fear variables. Be the constant. When you have the power to get away with cruelty, choose honor, not for them, for yourself, because every time you choose the low road, you quietly degrade your own self-image. You tell your subconscious, "I am a low-value person," and your subconscious will believe you and it will sabotage you. Be noble when no one is watching. That is how you shine in the light. The conclusion. So where does this leave us? It leaves you with X-ray vision. You now have the tools to read the room. You can see the micro-denial. You can see the silent funeral. You can see the impunity factor. You are no longer walking blindly through a forest of predators. You have a map. But with this vision comes a responsibility. The responsibility of selection. You are the curator of your own life. Machiavelli said, "The first method for estimating the intelligence of a ruler is to look at the men he has around him. Look around you. Are you surrounded by tyrants, saboteurs, and sadists? If so, that is not their fault, that is yours. You let them in. You kept them there. You ignored the signs. Today, the ignorance ends. Today, you begin the purge. It does not have to be dramatic. You do not need to burn bridges. Simply start closing the gates. Stop feeding the energy vampires. Stop confiding in the envious. Stop trusting the cruel. And in the empty space they leave behind, invite the rare ones, the ones who respect your no, the ones who celebrate your wins, the ones who are kind when they have no reason to be. They exist. They are rare, like diamonds. But you will never find them if your hands are full of coal. Drop the coal, walk away from the heat of the drama. Step into the cold clarity of truth. It will be lonely at first. The outlier path is always lonely. The sheep are in the herd, the wolf is on the hill, but the view from the hill is better, the air is cleaner, and you are free. But be careful. Because as you begin to see these patterns in others and purge them from yourself, you will change. You will become quieter, sharper, harder to manipulate, and people will notice. The manipulators will sense that their old tricks no longer work on you. The buttons they used to push have been disconnected, and they will get angry. They will call you cold. They will call you changed. They will try to gaslight you back into submission. This is the final test. When the world tries to pull you back into the mud, will you slide or will you stand? There is a specific technique or Machiavellian counter-move for dealing with the backlash of your own evolution. It is called the grey rock method, applied with military precision. But that is a weapon for another time. For now, watch the eyes, watch the reaction, watch the power. The truth is right in front of you. Open your eyes. If this felt like a mirror you weren't ready to look into, understand this. I am barely scratching the surface. This is the diagnosis. The cure goes far deeper. There are strategies of influence, psychological defense, and counter-manipulation that I cannot fully address in a public video. The uncensored, tactical applications exist behind the join button. If you are tired of theory and want the weapon, if you want to know not just how to spot the manipulator, but how to dismantle them, click join. Step into the architect level. We go into the void where others are afraid to look. Subscribe if you are ready to wake up. Join if you are ready to rule. See you in the shadows.